McKinney.
You know, we've had a lot of talk about favorite fighters, crazy fights, and everything in between, but I gotta tell you, Brent, someone coming in here, learning about MMA through CageZilla, Mio McKinney has become one of my favorites here. 4-2 fighting out of modern American MMA. He trains under Ryan Collette and is looking to make him proud.
Yeah, Mio McKinney, really an exciting guy that huge for the weight class, 5'11" for the 125-pound weight class. He came in a little bit over, I think, on this weight cut, but he was telling me he's kind of struggling with some flu and some things going around this time of year, so he wasn't able to have the weight cut that he really desired. Let's see if that affects his stamina and his conditioning when it goes into the possibly later rounds.
Absolutely. He does look very good coming out here in front of Angel Ortiz, who's given the full look through. I do think that he is confident, ready to make a statement here. But Mio, of course, is up against a real contender here in a contender fight, in fact. This is the #1 bantamweight contender match, the first one where we're in that close proximity to a CageZilla title.
Yeah.
I would love to see Mio be that next person.
Yeah, all the matches tonight have been complete fire, but this starts our matches that really count for something implicating a title, and this is a #1 contender fight, getting these guys, the winner, to the flyweight title. Let's throw it down to Chris to announce the blue corner.
And his opponent, making his way to the cage and fighting out of the blue corner, it's Kaelob, Alger.
Killer
That
K.
tough opponent we're talking about out of Tactical Combat Academy, 2-4, 124 pounds, but honestly, that 6-fight record tending a little bit towards that negative side, I think, doesn't represent just how much willpower this guy has. Time and time again, he's been pulling off great moves, solid technique. He just hasn't quite been able to make that reflect in his record.
Yeah, Killer K, man, he's a what an athlete, an explosive striker. Kind of, I told him he has the McGregor-esque kind of style where he comes out. He's really upright in his stance, on balance with his shots. And really excited to see this up-and-coming flyweight. He actually called for this fight and wrote me and said, hey, I want Mio McKinney. I know he's the #1 in the flyweight division. I'm looking to be that, and I want him. I said, are you sure? He said, yeah. So I was able to put this fight together. Both guys were able and willing to do it, and This fight has some big implications in the flyweight division, with our champion being John D. Fuller.
Kaelob also looking really good, maybe a bit more at home in regards to his frame at 5'9" in bantamweight. Definitely hitting that weight milestone, by the way. 124 pounds versus 127 for Mio, as you said, kind of coming in a little bit over. Going to see how this is going to reflect on either side here, but both are ready to try to move towards that victory and in kind, the #1 contendership.
Yeah, excited for this one. Kaelob was going to take the fight even if Mio came in over, and he had no problem doing that. And here he goes, coming in, making his mark inside the CageZilla cage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla bantamweight division. It is a #1 contender bout, meaning that the winner of this fight will be taking on bantamweight champion John D. Fuller for the bantamweight title. It is brought to you by our friends at Mahana Fresh, positively fresh and positively delicious. And now, starting out, fighting out of the red corner, standing 5'11" and weighing in at 127 pounds, fighting out of modern American MMA with a record of 4 wins and only 2 defeats, it's Mio McKinney! And his opponent, fighting out of the blue corner, standing 5'9" and weighing in at 124 pounds, fighting out of Tactical Combat Academy with a record of 2 wins and 4 defeats, it's Kaelob, Alger! Once again, ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for three-minute rounds in the CageZilla bantamweight division. It is brought to you by Mahana Fresh And your referee is Michael Dolman.
Here we go in this flyweight match, actually at 125 pounds, and really excited to see these guys, both huge flyweights for the division. And let's see how this one turns out. Who's going to assert their reach and their striking abilities, because both guys have it.
Yeah, thank you for the correction there. It is, in fact, flyweight, not bantamweight that we're currently fighting at. And as you said, both of these guys, there's kind of long frames. We're going to see what that turns into. Mio trying to use that reach advantage. Unfortunately, going to get shot at in kind. Kaelob not able to get the full takedown, though, but good job getting on the inside of that right knee. Mio going to have to be careful to not be taken down here, as we do see the mutual trip not quite go through. Kaelob has to reset and try again.
Yeah. I'm surprised to see Kaelob, and maybe he's been putting a couple more wrinkles in his game, working his grappling, but I'm surprised to see him moving in for the grapple, because typically he's trying to take your head off.
Well, you know, one thing that, speaking to that, one thing that I am happy to see out of Kaelob is that he seems a little more relaxed.
Yeah.
He's coming in not wild, not throwing crazy shots, because that has historically what's gotten him in trouble, his aggression.
Yeah. Yeah,
He's coming in a little wild and gets caught.
Interesting conversion out of Mio. Goes off balance, gets his leg all the way around the back of Kaelob, showing the advantages that come from that incredibly long and lithe frame. And now he's actually in a great position to start getting shots up against the exposed head of Kaelob.
Caleb's got his head tucked in there close enough that I'm not sure he's going to absorb a whole lot of damage. But yeah, really nifty little body lock there.
What a unique position. His leg's so long that Kaelob's actually in his guard, but he's got his leg wrapped around his back. And he could have slipped around to his back, but it looks like Kaelob's gonna assert his dominance and get top position here.
Good tenacity by Kaelob, converting that aggressive bent from his striking game plan into a really dominant position up top. But Mio has his back up against the wall in a really good position to stop a further advance of Kaelob, preventing those hips from gliding past his thighs. I think what this means is that Kaelob has to make a decision. Does he want to ride out the rest of this round and try to get something done from what is ultimately kind of a stalemated position with 50 seconds left, or does he want to reset and try to find something else?
Well,
yeah.
Somebody over there is getting some free coaching from UFC veteran and BKFC veteran Dustin Pegg, sitting over there with CageZilla owner Jeff Salisbury. He's into it, man.
Yeah, we got a lot of big names here in the crowd here for our CageZilla event here. UFC fighters, Strikeforce fighters, guys who have won the UFC Tough Show. They all want to come to CageZilla, the best show around.
Hey, and don't count yourself out, man. You're one of those guys.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that.
Two-time CageZilla Hall of Famer.
Yep. Great work from Kaelob. I thought he took that round. Not a ton of action, but maybe, like you say, Chris, he's asserting some of that experience and veteran experience to kind of etch out a win in round by round.
One thing to note out of that is that Mio was able to get back to his feet, but it came right there at the end, so we didn't really get to see a whole lot out of the red corner to try to right the ship. However, the fact that Mio was able to do so, I think, speaks to the fact that while Kaelob was in control, he wasn't able to convert that control into a clear advantage in terms of battle damage. And so I'm ready for two fresh-faced fighters to come into round number 2 with a lot to give. Yeah,
neither fighter took a ton of damage in that round. I thought it was fairly close, with Kaelob kind of keeping that top position and probably scoring the win in that round, but it's still open for Mio to come in and try to take round 2 and possibly round 3.
Both back up to their feet, neither of them breathing very heavily here. I want to see Kaelob striking get back on into contention. As you said, it was kind of surprising that he shot so early in this one, and while we have talked about some deficiencies that has brought him to that 2-4 record, he, I think, has wizened up quite a bit and looks like a very different fighter coming into this match. And I think he used those strikes for something good, unless he overinvests like that. Mio gets 2 good shots in as a response with those legs. And while we do see an attempted Ashitori, Kaelob's shot is going to lead to a sprawl, and Mio is back up against the cage side wall with a lot of leverage in this position.
Yeah, wow. And from standing position, Kaelob's usually firing, but I think he's sensing that reach advantage. Normally he's the bigger guy in this division, but he's actually not in this matchup with Mio coming in at 5'11", 125 pounds. So, Kaelob is. I think he has been working on a couple extra wrinkles on his game because his grappling looks amazing tonight.
Yeah, good thing that he's able to fall back on it because, Brent, that could have been a disaster. A massive attempt at a head kick let him spin out, and Mio got 2 shots in as a response, but the fact that Kaelob was able to right the ship and get to this position is much better than what he was thinking about in the past. The problem is, I once again don't really see him getting much here.
Right.
Kaelob's happy to just kind of lean on top of Mio, but Mio simultaneously is incredibly happy to basically be in a sitting position, raining down elbows.
Well, and I like seeing Kaelob, even though he's not doing a lot right now, honestly, I like seeing him in this position because it shows some growth, some composure.
Yeah.
That exchange he had at the beginning of this round was classic Kaelob Alger, and it could have gotten really ugly. Luckily, he was able to hit that double and get the takedown, but that has been the story of his demise in the past.
Yeah, I don't know. The ref might warn him here for inactivity. He's got to take Mio's back off the cage and start pulling him away from the cage, so that he can continue to climb up on top and create a better top position for himself. And here he goes.
I like this shift over. Mio actually
maybe
going to
not.
try to disentangle his long legs. Back up to a standing position. Kaelob continues the clinch here, and I think Mio is happy with this. He got those good elbows, and now he's going to try to convert that into knees. A punch upside the head, and now Kaelob might be in trouble. We're right back to the sitting position, but now it kind of feels like Alger is going here out of desperation rather than it being a clear part of his game plan.
Yeah, exactly. He's not really answering, which is what I normally see. That's why I tell him he's got the Conor McGregor-esque style, for his big strikes. But he's looking more like Khabib in this fight, really getting in on those legs.
One difference is Khabib was undefeated, I believe. Currently at 2-4. I think Kaelob needs to show a little bit more action here if he wants to take the second round. Clappers are out, and I'm just not seeing a whole lot. If anything, he's just falling deeper and deeper into a very awkward stance. Now, trying to leverage his head out with those legs up. Unfortunately, he's just going to get elbowed to the very end. I think that one is going Mio's way.
Yeah, Mio seems, a little bit frustrated, but he is scoring there from the bottom, so hard to see. And it's always a gamble what the judges are looking at there. Are they looking at top position, or are they looking at, significant strikes? So kind of a back and forth round there in round 2.
Yeah, and that's, it's been said so many times, it's a cliche now, but you don't want to leave it into the hands of the judges because you don't know what each judge is looking at. Some people score effective striking over ring control, and, so Kaelob needs to let it all hang out right here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
From some judges' viewpoints, from some fans' viewpoints, he's winning this fight. But I think he needs to do a bit more to really secure it because he's not landing those shots from the top. He's eating more damage than he's inflicting.
Yeah. And same with Mayo, he's not necessarily winning this fight.
That's right.
So
Absolutely.
he's gotta come in and really steal this third round, I think.
I would really love to see an action-packed third round right here. I think both fighters really need it.
Yeah, I want to see some stand-up. Let's go.
Well, we are starting in stand-up again. Look at how far both of these fighters have to be from one another to respect the incredible range that they get, particularly off their kicks. Mio trying to inch in, finds shots upside the head. Kaelob immediately shoots, has a single leg.
Wow. Kaelob wants nothing to do with Mayo's strikes.
Almost completely inverts McKinney there, by the way, but Kaelob finds himself yet again on the bottom of this. And we're in that position where it's kind of face down, ass up, as it were, and I don't really know if Kaelob will be able to find anything. Yet again, his face is going to get red. He's going to feel the pressure on his neck, and he's going to get shot on the back of the head with some elbows.
He's got to start putting his back to the floor, and if this is the game that he wants to play, he's got to play it, and he's got to get on top.
Chris, I had to take my headphones off because I was laughing until I'm crying at that last description.
I mean, what else would you call it? I feel that coming from pro wrestling, we can see a package pile driver or something out of Mio McKinney. There's just no ability to leverage here to find anything more. It's almost kind of like Kaelob is taking the way of an ostrich, burying his head in the sand, and just hoping that this demonstrated advantage somehow gets him ahead on the judges' scorecards.
I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, I see one of the judges down here ringside shaking his head at the action right now, not looking pleased with what's going on. And I'm not either, really. This is not the way I wanted this fight to go for either fighter.
Yeah, you were saying it earlier, Chris. This is not Kaelob Alger's style. All that aggression kind of draining out. Instead, he's just trying to work like a wet blanket. Mio McKinney, at the same time, though, is just kind of content being here. I don't think he wants to expend any more than he needs to, but at the same time, I would also like to see a defining shot coming out of the red corner, and now the boos are coming from the crowd. They want to see some more action.
With a minute left, referee Michael Dolman might stand him up here, but it's tough because it's a dominating kind of position, but he's not doing anything with it.
So I'm wondering if over at
Tactical?
If they're really working on his wrestling, because his wrestling has improved a lot, but he's not doing much once he gets down there. He's hitting those doubles and getting a takedown every time. It's just no action from the top.
Yeah, he's got to cut the...
Kaelob, burst of energy, gonna wrench Mio back up to his feet, now up against the door. Mio is just trying to blade those hips, prevent another takedown from occurring near the corner here. He could get really tied up in the chain link. So therefore, we're gonna actually see a trip the other way. Kaelob yet again on top, and this is a lot better of a position. Getting that right leg pinned under his hips. This is the chance for Alger to actually advance in these last few seconds.
Mio going for an inside trip, but gets reversed. But Kaelob, once again, I'd like to see him posture up, do some damage, you know?
Well, there's the bell. No more damage to be had. A little bit of a disappointing fight from the crowd's perspective here, but I do like the technique that was on display from the two of them, Mio McKinney, Kaelob Alger, clearly hungry for that #1 contendership. I wonder if that was sticking in their head a little bit here in the flyweight division, Brent. If maybe they were thinking, hey, I want to play safe. I don't want to give away this fight in a chance at that title, but in kind, we just didn't see all that much action.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're fighting for a #1 contender spot, you got to really show that you want that title. And, man, I didn't necessarily see it from both of these guys. I know that they were trying their best and doing their, especially Mio losing position pretty much every round, but really she was trying to score and trying to elbow. I mean, you see Kaelob's nose is the one bleeding, but he was on top the whole time. So, yeah, not the fight that I thought we were going to see from Kaelob, but hey, maybe he's added, like I say, some new wrinkles to his game, and he's working on other things because I know he's got good hands. I've seen him put some guys out. So maybe he felt like, hey, I don't have the reach advantage and I don't have the range advantage that I think I have, and Maya was certainly scoring some big, powerful shots on the feet too.
Well, here's my perspective on this. If we're going to bring Kaelob Alger in as this striking specialist who's looking for new wrinkles in his game plan, ultimately I do want to see him rely on striking a little bit. If he's afraid about Mio McKinney having this longer reach and things like that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, while we are waiting for the judges to tabulate the scores, let's say hi to one of my good friends sitting over here cage side. He is a UFC veteran, a current BKFC fighter, and season 14 the Ultimate Fighter. It's Dustin, the Disciple Peg. All right, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. Judge 1 scores about 29-28, McKinney. Judge 2 scores about 29-28, Alger. And Judge 3 scores about 30-27 in favor of your winner by split decision. Out of the red corner, it's Mio McKinney.
Well, congratulations to Mio McKinney for entering in as your #1 contender in the flyweight division, weathering the storm, weathering the grappling. He was able to find a stable, responsive game plan, and from there, a victory.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought he was getting the better of the exchanges on the feet. He was doing more scoring from the bottom, but again, the key word there is bottom. And, yeah, looks like the judges were scoring significant strikes versus position. Give it up for Maya McKinney. Great